Now, after taking this applications of Bohr's model, which could explain the line spectrum, it could explain the energy of electrons in different orbit, velocity of electron, orbits, radii, frequency of revolutions, all could be explained quite large number successfully. But again, for the single electron atom or ions, results were more in accordance with the experimental values. Now, for this Bohr model, we have some drawbacks. तो आपका ड्रॉबैक क्या क्या है? That drawback you can note down लिख लीजिए. पहला पॉइंट आपका क्या ड्रॉबैक? It is valid only for single electron atom or ions. Not applicable for the means it is first drawback. It is not applicable for multi-electron atoms or ions. It is not applicable to multi-electron atom or ions. Already explained that this is valid only for single electron atom or ions like hydrogen atom, He plus ion, lithium plus 2 ion, beryllium plus 3 ion, and so on. Next drawback is there. The dual nature of electron, that is wave plus particle nature of electron or other matter waves not explained. In this model, the electron is taken only as particle. Nothing is told about the electron wave nature. Electron is taken only as particle. Nothing told about the electron's wave nature in this model. So wave nature of electron is neglected, or dual nature of electron is not considered in this model. Next taken drawback is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. ये क्या है? देखिए, we have taken theoretically if we know the orbit number, and we also know atomic number, then we could tell the different property of electrons or atoms, like we can locate position means distance of electron from nucleus. We can know exactly knowing the orbit number and the z, and also knowing the orbit number and z, we can find the velocity of electron, or for same region momentum of electron. So using this postulate, theoretically we can predict position and momentum of electron both accurately and simultaneously, but theoretically. It says practically it is not possible. आपको पढ़ाएंगे प्रिंसिपल में, समझाएंगे इसमें इसका मीनिंग क्या होता है एग्जैक्टली और आगे चल के. तो ये आपका वो एक ड्रॉबैक है इस मॉडल का डायरेक्टली. अगला है इसमें it could not explain Zeeman effect and you can take Stark effect. It couldn't explain Zeeman effect and Stark effect. दोनों क्या होते हैं? What is Zeeman effect? देखिए, when we take a single spectral line is placed in the magnetic field, it shows splitting into several more lines. तो ये single spectral line when placed in magnetic field, it shows splitting into several lines more. Then it is called as Zeeman effect. What is Zeeman effect? It is splitting of a single spectral line into several lines in presence of magnetic field. Then this effect is called as Zeeman effect. And what is Stark effect? It can be taken same definition, but I replace this term magnetic field here by the electric field. It is splitting of a single spectral line into several lines on placing in the electric field. So it is taken in electric field. On placing a single spectral line in electric field, it can show splitting into several lines. Then it is called as Stark effect. G में क्या होता है? Magnetic lines. मैग्नेटिक फील्ड क्यों होता है? Because of concept of orbitals. ये आपको समझाएंगे आगे in quantum mechanics using quantum numbers. They can explain कि in how many lines a single lines can show splitting on placing in electric or magnetic field. There are some key drawbacks of this Bohr's atomic model. Okay. Now from this drawbacks, we will explain some drawbacks by our next topic. In the next topic, we can take will be here on your dual nature. So next topic will be covered is de Broglie equation, which explain the dual nature of the electron or the particle wave. Hello students. So our next topic taken is dual nature of electron or the particle wave. Dual nature of electron or other particle. We can take equations called as de Broglie equation. De Broglie equation. So our next topic taken is dual nature of electron, or we can take de Broglie equation. We have taken Bohr's postulate or Bohr's atomic model. The electron is taken only as particle. Nothing said about the electron wave nature. But later on we have many experiments which prove that electron beam also will have wave nature, or electrons possess wave nature along with the particle nature. So this dual nature actually is incorporation of, dual means double. It is indicative of particle. It is electron is particle plus wave nature. Combination taken of particle plus wave nature in with the electron is called as dual nature. Now let us explain this expression, how this expression come for the electron dual nature. See, when electron is moving, or we can take in general, let us take for the wave nature. We can take from Planck's quantum theory, from Planck's quantum theory, that is for only wave nature of radiations. From Planck's quantum theory, we can take energy of electromagnetic radiations is given by the expression h nu, or I can write hc by lambda. This expression is indicating the wave nature. Particle mass is not taken, only we have taken Planck's constant, or we have taken the c, velocity of light, or the wavelength of the radiations. Now if we take from Einstein's mass energy relation, from Einstein's mass energy relation, we can take here energy can be given as mc square. Energy is given as mc square. If mass will convert to energy, then as per this equation, mass can convert to energy. Equation number 2. Now when we say, in this case, this first expression is for the wave nature, already explained here, and it is for the particle nature. If you have matter, particles, matter will convert to energy, then by this expression matter can convert to energy, E is equal to mc square. Now when we equate both expressions from equation 1 and 2, we can write here that energy in both form hc by lambda is equal to mc square, or from here we can write expression of wavelength lambda is equal to h upon mc. H upon mc. So if we take for the radiations taking particle nature of radiations, then we can apply this expression for only electromagnetic radiations which are moving with the speed of light, which are moving with the velocity of light. So lambda can be given h upon mc. But we cannot apply same expression for the particle wave, because all radiations, they are traveling with the velocity of light. But when you take different particles, they can travel with different speed, different velocity. So to apply this expression for the particle waves, we replace term c in the given expression by the v. To apply this expression, let's say question number 3. For particle wave or particles, we replace c is replaced by v. The term c is replaced by v. So expression can be written as lambda is equal to h upon mv, or mass into velocity is what here? Momentum. So we can write h upon p. M into v is what? Momentum. So we can write here mv is equal to h upon p. This expression taken here is called as de Broglie equation. This equation taken here is called as de Broglie equation. I hope it is clear. We can take for the radiations where we take only wave nature. Energy is equal to h nu or hc by lambda. From Einstein's mass energy relation, we can take mass, when convert to energy, we can apply this relation. Equating two forms of energy, it is combination particle plus wave. For radiations, if at all they ask question for the photons find the mass, if lambda given to you, you can apply this equation. But for the particles, they travel with the speed lower than speed of light. Till now we can take as per the Einstein's theory of relativity that we can explain to you right now. We can take expression by the way is coming lambda is equal to h upon mv, m into v, mass into velocity is momentum. So this can be taken momentum p. This expression taken is one form of the de Broglie equation, basic equation for the particle plus wave nature or de Broglie equation. This equation can be written in some other forms also. Let us see how. Like we take this expression lambda is equal to h upon mv is taken de Broglie equation. We can write in different other forms. How? We can write in this case relation. It is one form I write here. Now we can know here, since we know that what is kinetic energy, half mv square. From here for the particle, what can be taken? Velocity. It is 2 ke by m square root. 2 k by m square root. So we can replace in the equation velocity by this expression. So we can write lambda is equal to how much? h upon root 2 m ke. It is one form more of this writing de Broglie equation in terms of kinetic energy of the particle. Sometimes the question they use word here potential difference or potential. So we can take energy, we can replace this term here kinetic energy in terms of potential difference, or can use the term here accelerating potential or other terms. In that kind of case, expression I can replace here. See how to get kinetic energy in joules from potential. It can be taken E into V. We know the expression. If we are given potential difference, that is V into charge, can give the energy in joules. So I can write here kinetic energy is equal to E into V. That you can write in this expression here. So it is one more form of this de Broglie equation, root 2 m E into V. There are different other modifications of de Broglie equation. There are also separate modification for the de Broglie equation. तो as per the required information in the question, जो भी डेटा आपको दिया है क्वेश्चन में, उस डेटा को देख करके आप इन तीनों में से कोई सा भी इक्वेशन लगा सकते हैं. यार क्या था हमारे पास h upon p also momentum, because sometime you get question कि मोमेंटम निकालिए. तो आपका इक्वेशन क्या है? m into v क्या होता है? मोमेंटम. You can do the question that way also. Now one point is there, we have taken we replace the velocity of light in the expression by the velocity of particle. Why it is done? It can be explained in terms of Einstein's theory of relativity. What is theory of relativity? From Einstein's theory of relativity, you can write here that mass of moving particle or electron can be taken m0 by 1 minus v square by c square. 1 minus v square by c square. This expression we use here. Now if it is taken from here, this expression, if the v is equal to c, then what is mass of moving electron? Become m0 by 0 means infinity. If you take from the theory of relativity, okay, that mass of the particles do not remain same when it is moving at high speeds. So normally what happens when the speed is not very high, the mass of the particle can be supposed to be same, but when they move at high speed and when the speed approach nearly the speed of light, mass changes. That is given by this expression me. Me can be taken mass of a moving electron. m0 is the rest mass of electron at rest when it is not moving, zero speed is there, and v is the velocity of particle or electron taken, and c is the velocity of light. Now if v and c become equal, then 1 minus 1 0, that means mass of the moving particle will be how much? Infinity. So we can take, to prevent this, we can take issues or problems here, we replace the velocity of the particle light, we replace the velocity of light c by the velocity of particle v in the de Broglie equation. That is what equation is obtained here. Lambda is equal to h upon mv, or lambda is h upon root 2 m ke. So the different way of writing or expressing this de Broglie equation. Okay, let us take one to question on this topic. The question given here is, let us say first question given, calculate the wavelength associated with a ball having mass 100 gram and moving at a speed of 180 kilometer per hour. Calculate the wavelength associated with a ball having mass 100 gram and moving at a speed of 180 kilometer per hour. Read the question and solve this question yourself. Now coming on solution part. This is very simple question. To apply in this case relation for wavelength calculation, remember for particle waves, to find wavelength, we use this expression always, lambda equal to how much? h upon mv. For particle wave, to find the wavelength, we can use only de Broglie equation. We use only de Broglie equation. So in this case, what is mass? We will take mass in kg. आपको mass दिया है इसमें कितना? 100 ग्राम, और I can write 0.1 kg. Mass is how much then? By 1000, so 0.1 kg, and we take velocity or speed in meter per second. We will take velocity or speed in meter per second. कितना है इसमें? स्पीड आपको दिया है 180 किलोमीटर पर आवर. How to make it meter per second? Into 5 by 18. This expression is, I hope, known to all of you. Okay, we convert the speed to first meters into 1000, dividing by time from 1 hour to seconds, 3600 seconds. That will give the value here. This speed come how much is on solving here? 50 meter per second. And now we can calculate from here wavelength value. H is 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second by mass 0.1 kg into 50. That is 5 only. This value coming how much in solving? 1.3 5 into 10 to power how much? Say minus 34 meters. So on calculation, this value we can get of the wavelength, that is coming how much? 1.325 into 10 to power minus 34 meters. So you can see this wavelength is very small. This wavelength is very small and is of no practical significance. So when you take bigger particles, macroscopic bodies, they can have in their motion wavelengths. But for them, what happens? The wavelength is very small, too small to be of any practical significance. So we normally neglect in them their wave nature. Anyway, that is how we can find the expression or calculation is done here. In this expression, we take H Planck's constant, unit is joule second. So if at all we apply equation, mass of the particle or body to be taken in kg, velocity of the particle to be taken meter per second, and then you can do the calculation. Lambda will come on solving in meters. I hope it is clear. So let us take next question. Now let us take our next question. Now it is a objective question given to you. It is a common question which sometimes likely given in exams also. आप लोग क्वेश्चन लीजिए, लिखिए क्वेश्चन. If the wavelength is equal to the distance traveled by the electron in 1 second, then आपको ऑप्शन दिया है रिलेशन ऑफ लैम्डा h और p. ऑप्शन ए दिया है लैम्डा इज h अपॉन p, ऑप्शन बी दिया लैम्डा इज इक्वल टू h अपॉन m, सी दिया लैम्डा इज इक्वल टू रूट ऑफ h अपॉन p, और डी दिया लैम्डा इज इक्वल टू रूट ऑफ h अपॉन m. Try this question yourself. Now coming on solution part. To solve this question, we use de Broglie equation. Lambda equal to how much? H upon mv. Now what is given here? Wavelength is equal to distance traveled by electron in 1 second. ये क्या होता है? It is same as velocity. The distance traveled by electron in 1 second. That is same as the velocity of particle or electron taken here. So lambda in the question is given is equal to v. So we can replace in the expression lambda v is equal to lambda because we require relation of lambda in remaining properties. So we can replace here lambda is equal to h upon m lambda, or we can write from here lambda square is equal to h upon m, or lambda can be taken how much? Root of h upon m. हो गया. So option D can be taken answer of this question, that lambda is equal to how much? Root of h upon m. I hope it is clear. So let's come on the next point. Let us take next question. Question दिया है if E1, E2 and E3 are kinetic energies of an electron, alpha particle and a proton, each having same de Broglie wavelength, then again the question objective, you are given options in the question. What are the order of energies? Option दिया है E1, E3, E2, B दिया है E2 more than E3 than E1, C दिया है E1, E2, E3, D दिया है all equal, E1 equal to E2 equal to E3 are the 4 options given for this question. Okay, so try this question yourself. Solution part of this question. To solve this question, we need to have relation of lambda and the kinetic energy. Already explained to you that lambda is equal to how much? H upon root 2 m into kinetic energy. Now in this case, what is given to us? They are the kinetic energies having same de Broglie wavelength. All the particles are having same de Broglie wavelength. When they have same de Broglie wavelength, what is relation of kinetic energy? You can see here. So for having same wavelength, they should have equal ratio of h upon root 2 m ke. They should have equal ratio of, if you just equate here, lambda is equal. So what if we have variable? We have mass variable and they will also kinetic energy variable. So in such a case, when lambda will be same, h is already constant, so I can write expression here. root 2m into kinetic energy of all the particles should be same. Should be same because if lambda will be same, all the particles, h already constant, so if we write here root 2m, k is equal to how much, h upon lambda, lambda same, h same, that means product should be same. That means whichever particle have higher mass will have lower kinetic energy, whichever particle have higher mass will have lower kinetic energy. So you can take here in this case that mass is inversely, or kinetic energy of the particle is inversely proportional to mass of the particle. This point you can use here. So using this point, if I take the three particles, what is the order of mass? Alpha particle is heaviest, then we can have proton, and then we can have electron in the mass terms. Mass is highest for the alpha particle, then proton, and then electron. That's the order of mass of the particles. Now that means particle having higher mass will have lower kinetic energy, will have lower kinetic energy. So you can take here which particle is having highest mass, alpha particle, so will have lowest kinetic energy. Electron in this case is having lowest mass, will have highest kinetic energy. So order can be taken here. Electron, it have kinetic energy how much here for alpha particle, आपको दिया है कितना है, for electron आपको दिया है E1, for alpha particle आपको दिया हुआ है E2, for proton आपको एनर्जी दिया हुआ है E3. Are there kinetic energies? So what is should be order here of kinetic energy? E1 is highest, then we can take E3, then we can take E2. So in this kind of question you can see relation of the different term given to you. So in this case you can see answer wise option A is your option, is your correct option. E1 is highest, then E3, then E2. So for same wavelength case, the particle having higher mass will possess lower kinetic energy. You can take this direct point in question solving. If your same wavelength type case, kinetic energy is inversely proportional to mass. जो भी particle आपका mass ज़्यादा होगा इस particle का, that will have higher kinetic energy. Okay? If they have same wavelength in that kind of case. Let us take next question. Now let us take next question. आप लोग ये write down next question. Which of the following matter waves will have shortest wavelength if traveling with same kinetic energy? ऑप्शन आपको दिया है इलेक्ट्रॉन, ऑप्शन बी दिया है अल्फा पार्टिकल, सी दिया है न्यूट्रॉन, ऑप्शन डी दिया है प्रोटॉन. So try this question yourself. Now coming on solution part of this question. To solve this question, we can take relation of the matter wave with the wavelength and kinetic energy. What is lambda is equal to root 2 m into kinetic energy. So in this case, what the relation taken? Relation is inverse. That lambda is inversely proportional to product of mass into kinetic energy. So in this case, for having shortest wavelength, or I can write root 2m into kinetic energy is equal to h upon lambda. So to have shortest wavelength, this should be highest product. So in which case the product is highest of mass into kinetic energy. So in this case mass is heavier and also more kinetic energy. क्या लिखा है? Same kinetic energy. All particles are traveling with same kinetic energy. For same kinetic energy, mass proportional to wavelength inversely. So which particle is having highest mass? Alpha particle will possess shortest wavelength. So option become your alpha, since in this case lambda is inversely proportional to mass. In case if they possess same kinetic energy, so whichever particle is having highest mass will possess lowest wavelength and vice versa. So In this kind of case, question can be given to you this way here. Now, one more question we'll take here. Question दिया है by what potential an electron beam is accelerated to have wavelength of 1.54 angstrom. To have wavelength of 1.54 angstrom. By what potential difference an electron beam should be accelerated? It is accelerated to have wavelength of 1.54 angstrom. Try this question yourself. Now coming on solution part of this question. To solve this question, we need to have relation of wavelength and the potential difference. So you can use de Broglie equation h upon mv, or you can write h upon root 2m into kinetic energy, or h upon root 2m ev. The last expression you can use here. Lambda is equal to how much? h upon root 2 m. m कितना आपको दिया है? Means put the values there on m into e into v. Now from here you can find the we can calculate the potential difference. In the question is kinetic energy. We can use for this term potential difference, or the term can use accelerating potential. If this energy taken in electron volt units. If we take for the particles kinetic energy in electron volt units, then the term you can use potential difference or accelerating potential. We can use in this question or this kind of question. So in this case now everything is known to you. Lambda is given how much? 1.54 angstrom. Take it meters. Mass of electron is known to you. Electron आपको दिया है, electron beam और electron 9.1 into 10 to power minus 31 kg. E charge of the electron 1.6 into 10 to power minus 19 coulombs. H is Planck's constant known to you. कितना होता है? 6.626 into 10 to power minus 34 जूल सेकेंड. निकालना क्या है? V. So just calculate only. On calculation, you will get your answer potential difference. Okay. We can have also in the question other approach. That first for the particle you can find velocity here. आपको lambda दिया है. Find from here velocity. Once we know velocity, then what is kinetic energy? Half mv square. That energy come in joules. From joule to convert to electron volt. Divide that energy by electronic charge. That energy become potential difference. You can calculate. So both ways the question you can calculate here. It is direct you can calculate here from this expression, squaring both sides, and then you can calculate. So I hope it is clear. चलिए. Now let us take derivation of Bohr's postulate of angular momentum quantization using de Broglie equation. Using de Broglie equation, we can show the derivation of Bohr's postulate of angular momentum quantization. See, angular momentum is quantized. It was given by Bohr by different experimentation, from different experimental observations, but there was no evidence to prove that expression. It can be proved using de Broglie equation. How? See, when electron is moving in a wave-like manner, it is told by de Broglie, and for the electron to remain in same orbit continuously, as told by Bohr, they should make in an orbit a whole number of waves. For the electron motion in a wave-like manner, if it is nucleus, electron is moving in a wave-like manner, it should make a whole number of waves. that electron should make a whole number of waves. Means the wave is in the same phase. So we can take electron is moving in a wave-like manner. Electron is moving in a wave-like manner. So all the electron for the electron to remain in same orbit, they should make a whole number of waves. If I write here in this case, if n is the number of waves made by electron in one revolution, orbit have radius r. So we can take here if n is number of waves made by electron in one revolution, number of waves made by electron in one revolution, then what happen? N into wavelength, the total number of waves is n into wavelength of each wave. The product should be equal to how much? Should be equal to orbit circumference. N lambda should be equal to the orbit circumference 2 pi r. So n lambda is 2 pi r. From here, what is lambda expression? It is orbits. I hope you got the point. N is number of waves into wavelength should be equal to 2 pi r, orbit circumference. So in this case, lambda can be taken how much? 2 pi r divided by n, expression number 1. Now if we just can go back from de Broglie equation, what is lambda is equal to h upon mv. Second expression, when we equate two expressions from equation 1 and 2, what you can write? That 2 pi r upon n is equal to h upon m into b, or from here we can write mvr is equal to n h upon 2 pi. I can write this one here this way. It is the same of we can take postulate, Bohr's postulate of angular momentum quantization. It's the same expression which is given in the Bohr's postulates of angular momentum quantization. For the electron wave to remain in same orbit, making n number of waves, this expression we can have. In this expression, this n was what? This n was the orbit number. You can just recall. N, I told the value of n can be 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and n should be whole number, and n was indicating the orbit number. What is the same n here? This m in n is what? Number of waves made by electron in one revolution. Same n appear in the given expression also. So what we can write from here? One very important conclusion. We can have one very important conclusion or observation. What is that? That number of waves made by electron in one revolution is equal to how much? Is equal to orbit number. This derivation or proof also gave one very important observation to us. What is that observation? That observation is that the number of waves made by electron in one revolution will be equal to orbit number. You get question in exam frequently that electron moving in third orbit will make how many waves? 3. Electron moving fourth orbit will make how many waves? 4. Whatever orbit number, electron moving first orbit can make how many waves? Single wave. So this is an observation, very important conclusion of this de Broglie equations, which is given to us to prove Bohr postulate as well as this point. Number of waves made by electron in one revolution is equal to orbit number. It is very important conclusion. Keep in mind, very important point here. So let us take one more question and then we start next topic. Now write next question. लिख लीजिए. In hydrogen atom, if x is the radius of the first Bohr orbit, the de Broglie wavelength of electron in third orbit, is, option आपको दिया है 3 pi x, option B दिया है 6 pi x, option C दिया है 9x by 2, option D दिया है x by 3. So try this question yourself. Let's come on solution part. Again it is an easy question. In solving this question, we will take care of some points like when electron moving in first orbit, it have radius x. Now in third orbit, we will have how much radius? Already we have taken for same atom hydrogen, radius is directly proportional to n square. So if I write radius in first orbit is x, then what is radius in third orbit? 9 times. And we have taken just now one expression that n lambda is equal to how much? Orbit circumference 2 pi r. For the orbit 2 pi r is circumference, n is number of waves, lambda is wavelength. So we will take product, n lambda is 2 pi r. N is in this case orbit number 3. So we will make 3 waves into lambda 2 pi. What is r taken in third orbit? We have radius how much? 9x. So what is wavelength in third orbit? 2 pi means dividing this here, dividing this by 3. So 3 into 2 6 pi x become answer for this question. So as per this option given, option B is the correct answer. That radius is directly proportional to n square. So in this case, when we change orbit number, what happen? N will change, at the same time radius will also change. So radius is taken 9x in third orbit compared to first orbit which is x, and in third orbit the electron wave will make 3 waves. Equating the answer will be coming here, this one. So it was, if you just can recall or summarize here this point till now, electron have only particle nature, but de Broglie explained dual nature of the electron, which is having basis on different experimentation done by different scientists over a period of time. And then this expression is very useful to us in understanding quantum mechanics or atoms quantum mechanical model, which is coming ahead later on. Anyway, it is there. One drawback of Bohr's was explained by de Broglie equation. Second drawback was there. One more drawback was there in in Bohr model. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle not explained. So let us come on the next topic taken. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.